Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjala Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Gadamayam Dadanti Sva Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Parakamal Shri Oh Prabhu, you disturbed me. Shri Guru Shri Yuta Parakamalam Shri Vish. Where was I, Prabhu?
Here.
Oh, Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagajatam Sahagana Ragunavitam Tam Sajivam Satvaitam Savadutam Parijanam Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Sagana Lalitam Shri Vitam Kamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Chap Chap Kanchana Gorange Radhe Vrindavanishware Vrisabhano Sota Devi Pranamari Hare Pre Vancha Kalpatarupyascha Kripa Sindhu Vayevacha Paritanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nite Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pricharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Ibu. Thank you so much, Lemang Pro.
Haribu.
Okay, so today we're going to start Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Canto 1, Chapter 1, text number 1. So who wants to be the...
I'll start it, Prabhu.
Oh, okay, Prabhu. I'm feeling the water. So do you know it by memory?
What, Prabhu?
First verse of Bhagavatam.
No, Prabhu. You can chant it, Prabhu.
maybe Pranjal Prabhu, Gaura Shakti Prabhu knows it. I don't remember it actually, but I know many remember it.
I know it just speaks of Krishna as Bhagavan, even higher than Lord Brahma. Just know that.
Oh, yeah, I had forgotten even that. There's some text behind. Okay. Oh, yeah, it starts Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Oh, Gaura Shakti Prabhu remembered it, but he was muted.
Yes, I remember part of it, but not on the whole part, the
Yes,
whole
Prabhu.
verse. But I remember some part of it because in Prabhupada teaching, always he will quote the first two stanza, the first two,
Yes, Prabhu.
Very, yeah. But do you know the tune for this one? It's like it's not a normal tune, no?
Oh, even Semi Prabhu left. Maybe it's network problems, Prabhu.
Oh, yes. Or perhaps his battery is dead, right? Sometimes it happens when...
Oh, yes, Prabhu.
He just leave like that because the battery is dead. You have to connect with another device.
Oh, nice. Oh, yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, because before that we have a session also. We did a reading session, special reading session about the Gundicha Majjana. Today is a very auspicious day. Lord Chaitanya will cleanse the temple, Gundicha. Do you know?
No, Prabhu. I only know about Ratiyatra.
I forgot to put
so before. Yeah, I know that. I knew that.
Yes, Prabhu. It just closed.
I'm sure you got a little bit sense, Prabhu. What about the YouTube? Is it still recording?
Yeah, it seems like the YouTube didn't cut.
Oh, because I saw the message. They're telling me that I'm the host now.
Oh, really? Yeah, Prabhu, you became
Yes,
the host and you saved the day. What is the
Where are the
tune?
others, Prabhu?
How many this is? Just
This is, I think this is this tune.
Is it Brahma Samhita?
Janmadhyasyayato anvayatitalas talvevas chalveba vigyasvara. You know this tune. Janmadhyasyayato nanvayatitalas italatas chalveba vigyasvara. Tene brahma yurita yadati kavaye muyanti. You know this tune, but it's very difficult to chant with this tune. So this is this tune.
is
This is a 19 syllable, I think, or 21, something like that.
Brahma Samhita won't fit,
So
Prabhu.
it Brahma Samhita?
I don't. No. Brahma Samhita is 15. This is 21.
Is it same as this Vandeham Sri Guru Sri?
Yuta Pada Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam. Yeah.
This is this one. This is this one. So we have to fit this one in the actual, verse.
Yes, Prabhu, it's that one, but it's difficult.
It's difficult, yes. So I better we just recite just like this, and we learn how to recite it, personally, because
yes,
it's quite difficult to chant it. Like if you want to try, you can, but for me it's quite difficult, bro. But this is the tune, huh? This is the tune that we need to apply for this one.
Oh.
I think we can make a small session about that.
Yes, Prabhu.
It says 19 syllables. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 1.1 there. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Isn't it that one?
Sloka recitations, like we could have sloka recitation session where we have one example of every two, and then we recite the two.
Yeah, we will arrange that. I will arrange this type of session. I want also to progress in that matter. So definitely we will have those practice sessions. Everyone will have a chance to, an opportunity to just recite a shloka according to the tune, that the proper tune, and using the proper tune. So we will try to do that. But in the reading session, don't waste time for that. We just go and read. It's better. You just recite normally.
Who will read?
It's me, Prabhu. But you'll chant the first one, Prabhu. Just chant the sloka for me, Prabhu.
Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Janmadasya jatonvayat itarataschartes abhigyanasvarat tene brahma hridaya adi kavaye muhyanti yatsurayaha tejo varim mridam yatha vinimayo yatra trisargam risha damna svena sada nirashta kuhakam satyam param dhimahi.
It actually fits, Prabhu. But then we don't see the book, Prabhu.
What are you seeing?
I'm seeing the. I don't know.
You should have said 1 hour ago, Prabhu.
That tune actually fits, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. We were talking about the verse whole time, and I was showing something totally different.
Should I start, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, I was waiting. Because I was looking at this the whole time, and I was waiting who is gonna start.
Oh, synonyms. Oh my Lord, Namaha, offering my obeisances, Bhagavate, unto the personality of Godhead, Vasudevaya, unto Vasudeva, the son of Vasudeva, or Lord Sri Krishna, the primeval Lord, Janma Adi, creation, sustenance, and destruction, Asya of the manifested universe, Yataha, from whom Anuva Yat, directly, Itarataha, indirectly, Cha and Arteshu, purposes, Abhigyanaha, fully cognizant, Svarat, fully independent, Tene, imparted, Brahma, the Vedic knowledge, Hirda, consciousness of the heart, Yaha, one who, Adikavaye, unto the original created beings, Muhuyanti, our illusion, yet about whom, Suryaha, great sages, and demigods, Tejaha, fire, Vari, water, Mradam, earth, Yata, as much as Vinimayaha, action and reaction, Yatra, whereupon, Tri Sagaha, Sarga, three modes of creation, creative faculties, Amrisha, almost factual, Damna, along with all transcendental paraphernalia, Zvena, self-sufficiently, Sada, always, Nirasta, negation by absence, Kuhakam, illusion, Satyam, truth, Param, absolute, Dihimahi, I do meditate upon. Translation, I offer my obeisances unto Lord Shri Krishna, son of Vasudeva, who is the supreme all-pervading personality of Godhead. I meditate upon him, the transcendental reality, who is the primeval cause of all causes, from whom all manifested universes arise, in whom they dwell and by whom they are destroyed. I meditate upon the eternally effulgent Lord, who is directly and indirectly conscious of all manifestations and yet is beyond them. It is he only who first imparted Vedic knowledge unto the heart of Brahma, the first created being. Through him, this world, like a mirage, appears real, even to great sages and demigods. Because of him, the material universe created by the three modes of nature appears to be factual, although they are unreal. I meditate there upon him, the absolute truth, who is eternally existent in his transcendental abode, and who is forever free of illusion, purport by his divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Prabhu, I'm sure the purport is very long. How many pages, Prabhu?
At least 10.
7.
Or even more than that. 7, okay.
Okay, Prabhu. We will share it, Prabhu. Obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Vasudeva directly indicate Lord Shri Krishna, who is the divine son of Vasudeva and Devaki. This fact will be more explicitly explained in the text of this work. Shri Vyasa Deva asserts herein that Shri Krishna is the original personality of Godhead and all others are his direct and indirect plenary portions or portions of the portions. Srila Jiva Goswami has even more explicitly explained the subject matter in his Krishna Sandarbha and Brahma. The original living being has explained the subject of Sri Krishna substantially in his treatise named Brahma Samhita. In the Sama Veda Upanishads, it is also stated that Lord Sri Krishna is the divine son of Devaki. Therefore, in this prayer, the first proposition holds the Lord Shri Krishna in the primeval Lord is the primeval Lord, and if any transcendental nomenclature is to be understood as belonging to the absolute personality of Godhead, it must be the name indicated by the word Krishna, which means the all-attractive. In the Bhagavad Gita, in many places, the Lord asserts himself to be the original personality of Godhead, and this is confirmed by Arjuna and also by great sages like Narada, Vyasa, and many others in the Padma Purana. It is also stated that out of the innumerable names of the Lord, the name of Krishna is the principal one. Vasudeva indicates the plenary portions of the personality of Godhead and all the different forms of the Lord being identical with Vasudeva are indicated in this text. The name Vasudeva particularly indicates the divine son of Vasudeva and Devaki. Shri Krishna is always meditated upon by the Paramhamsas, who are the perfected ones among those in the renounced order of life. Vasudeva, or Lord Shri Krishna, is the cause of all causes. Everything that exists emanates from the Lord. How this is so is explained in later chapters of this work. This work is described by Mahaprabhu Shri Chaitanya as the spotless Purana because it contains the transcendental narration of the personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna. The history of the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is also very glorious. It was compiled by Shri Vyasadeva after he had attained maturity in transcendental knowledge. He wrote this under the instructions of Shri Naradaji, his spiritual master. Vasudeva compiled all Vedic literatures containing the 4 divisions of the Vedas, the Vedanta Sutras of the Brahma Sutras, the Puranas, the Mahabharata, and so on. But nonetheless, he was not satisfied. His dissatisfaction was observed by his spiritual master, and thus Narada advised him to write on the transcendental activities of Lord Shri Krishna. These transcendental activities are described specifically in the 10th canto of this work, but in order to reach to the very substance, one must proceed gradually by developing knowledge of the categories. It is natural that a philosophical mind wants to know about the origin of the creation. At night, he sees the stars in the sky, and he naturally speculates about the inhabitants. Such inquiries are natural for man because man has a developed consciousness which is higher than that of the animals. The author of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam gives a direct answer to such inquiries. He says that the Lord Shri Krishna is the origin of all creations. He is not only the creator of the universe, but the destroyer as well. The manifested cosmic nature is created at certain periods by the will of the Lord. It is maintained for some time and then it is annihilated by his will. Therefore, the supreme will is behind all cosmic activities. Of course, there are atheists of various categories who do not believe in a creator, but that is due to a poor fund of knowledge. The modern scientist, for example, has created space satellites, and by some arrangement or other, these satellites are thrown into outer space to fly for some time at the control of the scientist who is far away. Similarly, all the universes with innumerable stars and planets are controlled by the intelligence of the personality of Godhead. In Vedic literatures, it is said that the absolute truth personality of Godhead is the chief amongst all living personalities. All living beings, beginning from the first created being Brahma down to the smallest end, are individual living beings. And above Brahma, there are even other living beings with individual capacities. And the personality of Godhead is also a similar living being, and he is an individual as are the other living beings. But the Supreme Lord, or the Supreme Living Being, has the greatest intelligence, and he possesses supermost inconceivable energies of all different varieties. If a man's brain can produce a space satellite, one can very easily imagine how brains higher than men can produce similarly wonderful things which are far superior. The reasonable person will easily accept this argument, but there are stubborn atheists who would never agree. Srila Vyasadeva, however, at once accepts the supreme intelligence as the Parameshvara. He offers his respectful obeisances unto the supreme intelligence, addressed as the Para or the Parameshvara, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that Parameshvara is Shri Krishna, as admitted in the Bhagavad Gita and other scriptures delivered by Shri Vyasadeva, and specifically in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that there is no other Paratattva Samam Bonam than himself. Therefore, Srila Vyasadeva at once worships the Paratattva, Sri Krishna, whose transcendental activities are described in the 10th Canto. Unscrupulous persons go immediately to the 10th Canto, and especially to the 5 chapters which describe the Lord's Rasa dance. This portion of the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is the most confidential part of this great literature. Unless one is thoroughly accomplished in the transcendental knowledge of the Lord, one is sure to misunderstand the Lord's worshipable transcendental pastimes called Rasa dance and his love affairs with the gopis. This subject matter is highly spiritual, and only the liberated persons who have gradually attained to the stage of Paramahamsa can transcendentally relish this Rasa dance. Srila Vyasadeva therefore gives the reader the chance to gradually develop spiritual realization before actually relishing the essence of the pastimes of the Lord. Therefore, he purposely invokes a Gayatri mantra, Dehi Mahi. This Gayatri mantra is meant for spiritual advanced people. When one is successful in chanting the Gayatri mantra, he can enter into the transcendental position of the Lord. One must therefore acquire Brahminical qualities or be perfectly situated in the quality of goodness in order to chant the Gayatri mantra successfully, and then attain to the stage of transcendentally realizing the Lord, his names, his form, his qualities, and so on. Prabhu, I remember before I knew about Krishna consciousness, I used to chant them every day.
Yes,
the Gayatri mantra.
Yeah, I did.
Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is the narration of the Svarupa of the Lord, manifested by his internal potencies, and this potencies is distinguished from the external potency, which has manifested the cosmic world, which is within our experience. Srila Vyasadeva makes a clear distinction between the two in this sloka. Sri Vyasadeva says herein that the manifested eternal potency is real, whereas the external manifested energy is in the form of material existence is only temporary and illusory, like the mirage in the desert. In the desert, mirage, desert, mirage, there is no actual water. There is only the appearance of water. Real water is somewhere else. The manifested cosmic creation appears as reality, but reality of which this is but a shadow is in the spiritual world. Absolute truth is in the spiritual sky, not the material sky. In the material sky, everything is relative truth. That is to say, one truth depends on something else. This cosmic creation results from interaction of the 3 modes of nature, and the temporary manifestations are so created as to present an illusion of reality to the bewildered mind of the conditioned souls, who appears in so many species of life, including the higher demigods like Brahma, Indra, Chandra, and so on. In actuality, there is no reality in the manifested world. There appears to be reality, however, because of the true reality which exists in the spiritual world. Hey, I need to take a screenshot. In the spiritual world, where the personality of Godhead externally exists with his transcendental paraphernalia. The chief engineer of a complicated construction does not personally take part in the construction, but he knows every nook and corner because everything is done under his direction. He knows everything about the construction, both directly and indirectly. Similarly, the personality of Godhead, who is the supreme engineer of this cosmic creation, knows every nook and corner, although affairs are being carried out by demigods, beginning from Brahma down to the insignificant end. No one is independent in the material creation. The hand of the Lord is seen everywhere. All material elements as well as all spiritual sparks emanates from him only. And whatever is created in the material world is but the interaction of 2 energies. the material and the spiritual, which emanates from the absolute truth, the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. A chemist can manufacture water in the chemical laboratory by mixing hydrogen and oxygen. But in reality, the living entities works in the laboratory under the directions of the Supreme Lord, and the materials with which he works as are also supplied by the Lord. The Lord knows everything directly and indirectly, and he is cognizant of all minute details, and he is fully independent. He is compared with the mine of gold, and the cosmic creation is so many different forms are compared with objects made from the gold, such as gold rings, necklace, and so on. The gold ring and the gold necklace are qualitatively one with the gold in the mine, but quantitatively, the gold in the mines is different. Therefore, the absolute truth is simultaneously one and different. Nothing is absolutely equal with the absolute truth, but at the same time, nothing is independent of the absolute truth. Conditioned souls, beginning from Brahma, who engineers the entire universe down to the insignificant end, are all creating, but none of them are independent of the Supreme Lord. The materialist wrongly thinks that there is no creator other than his own self. This is called Maya or illusion. Because of his poor fund of knowledge, the materialist cannot see beyond the preview of his imperfect senses, and thus he thinks that matter automatically takes its own shape without the aid of a superior intelligence. This is refuted in this sloka by Srila Vyasadeva, since the complete whole of the absolute truth is the source of everything. Nothing can be independent of the body of the absolute truth. Whatever happens to the body quickly becomes known to the embodied. Similarly, the creation is the body of the absolute whole. Therefore, the absolute knows everything directly and indirectly that happens in the creation. In the Shruti mantra, it is also stated that the absolute whole, or Brahman, is the ultimate source of everything. Everything emanates from him. Yes, Prabhu, this Brahman, I want to know more about this Brahman. Everything emanates from him, and everything is maintained by him. And at the end, everything enters into him. That is the law of nature. In the Smriti mantra, the same is confirmed. It is said that the source from which everything emanates at the beginning of Brahma's millennium, and this reservoir to which everything ultimately enters, is the absolute truth of all Brahman. Material scientists take it for granted that the ultimate source of the planetary system is the sun, but they are unable to explain the source of the sun. Herein, the ultimate source is explained according to the Vedic literatures. Brahma, who may be compared to the sun, is not the ultimate creator. It is stated in this sloka that Brahma was taught Vedic knowledge by the personality of Godhead. One may argue that Brahma, being the original living being, you can go down, Prabhu. Who may be compared to the, okay, Brahma being the, where was I now, Prabhu? Being the original living being, could not be inspired because there was no other being living at that time. Herein it is stated that the Supreme Lord inspired the secondary creator Brahman in order that Brahma could carry out his creative functions. So the supreme intelligence behind all creations is the absolute Godhead. Shri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Shri Krishna states that it is he only who superintends the creative energy, prakriti, which constitutes the totality of matter. Therefore, Shri Vyasadeva does not worship Brahma, but the supreme, Shri Vyasadeva does not worship Brahma, but the Supreme Lord who guides Brahma in his creative activities. In this sloka, the particular words abhigyanaha and svarat are significant. These two words distinguish the Supreme Lord from all the other living entities. No other living entity is either abhigyanaha or svarat. Namely, no one is either fully cognizant or fully independent. Even Brahma has to meditate upon the Supreme Lord in order to create. Then what to speak of great scientists like Einstein? The brains of such a scientist are certainly not the products of any human being. Scientists cannot manufacture such a brain. And what to speak of foolish atheists who defy the authority of the Lord? Even Mayavadi impersonalists who flatter themselves that they can become one with the Lord are neither Abhijnana nor Svarad. Such impersonalists undergo severe austerities to acquire knowledge to become one with the Lord, but ultimately they become dependent on some rich disciple who supplies them with money to build monasteries. Monasteries. Is it monasteries or monasteries? Monasteries. Monasteries and temples. Atheists like Ravana or Hiranyakashipu had to undergo severe penances before they could float the authority of the Lord, but ultimately they were rendered helpless and could not save themselves when the Lord appeared before them as cruel death. This is also the case with the modern atheists who also dare to float the authority of the Lord. Such atheists will be dealt with similarly, for history repeats itself. Whenever men neglect the authority of the Lord, nature and her laws are there to penalize them. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita in the well-known verse, Yada Yada Hi Dharmasya Glanir. Whenever there is a decline of Dharma and a rise of Adharma, O Arjuna, then I incarnate myself. Bhagavad Gita 4.7. That the Supreme Lord is all perfect is confirmed in all Shruti mantras. It is said in the Shruti mantras that the all perfect Lord threw a glance over the matter and thus created all living beings. The living beings are parts and parcels of the Lord, and he impregnates the vast material creation with seeds of spiritual sparks, and thus the creative energies are set in motion to enact so many wonderful creations. An atheist may argue that God is no more expert than a watchmaker. But of course, God is greater because he can create machines in duplicate male and female forms. The male and female forms of different types of machineries go on producing innumerable similar machines without God's further attention. If a man could manufacture such a set of machines that could produce other machines without his attention, then he could approach the intelligence of God. But that is not possible, for each machine has to be handled individually. Therefore, no one can create as well as God, AI Prabhu. Another name for God is Asamaruda, which means that no one is equal to or greater than him. Param Satyam, or the supreme truth, is he who has no equal or superior. This is confirmed in the Shruti mantras. It is said that before the creation of the material universe, there existed the Lord only, who is master of everyone. That Lord instructed Brahma in Vedic knowledge. That Lord has to be obeyed in all respects. Anyone who wants to get rid of the material entanglements must surrender unto him. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Unless one surrenders unto the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, it is certain that he will be bewildered. When an intelligent man surrenders unto the lotus feet of Krishna and knows completely that Krishna is the cause of all causes, as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, then only can such an intelligent man become a Mahatma or great soul. But such a great soul is rarely seen. Go down, Prabhu. Is rarely seen. Only the Mahatmas can understand that the Supreme Lord is the primeval cause of all creations. He is Param, or ultimate truth, because all other truths are relative to him. He is omniscient. For him there is no illusion. Some Mayavadi scholars argue that Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam was not compiled by Sri Vyasadeva, and some of them suggest that this book is a modern creation written by someone named Vopadev. Ooh, who's that one now? Vopadev.
What is this? I've never heard this name. It sounds funny.
In order to refute such meaning, sorry, Prabhu. Pranjal Prabhu. Were you saying something, Prabhu?
Oh,
or not?
I've never heard of Vopadev.
He's some random fellow.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it's like, how do we call it? Sadhguru. Don't you think it's people like Sadhguru?
Yes, Prabhu, maybe it's like him.
In order to refute such meaningless arguments, Sridhara Swami points out that there is reference to the Bhagavatam in many of the oldest Puranas. This first sloka of the Bhagavatam begins with the Gayatri mantra. There is a reference to this in the Matsya Purana. Prabhu, if it says like Matsya Purana, is it discussions of Matsya when he incarnated? Or you are not aware? You are not sure?
Not read Matsya Purana, actually.
Okay, Prabhu.
I'm not
Matsya
sure.
Purana. Okay, Prabhu. Which is the oldest Purana? In that Purana, it is said with reference to the Gayatri mantra in the Bhagavatam that there are many narrations of spiritual instructions beginning with the Gayatri mantra. And there is the history of Vritrasura. Anyone who makes a gift of this great work on a full moon, they attains to the highest perfection of life by returning to Godhead. There is anyone who, can I reread that, Prabhu? Anyone who makes a gift of this great work on a full moon, they attains to the highest perfection of life by returning to Godhead. Oh, there is reference to the Bhagavatam in other Puranas, also where it is clearly stated that this work was finished in 12 cantos, which includes 18,000 slokas. Ooh. In the Padma Purana, also, there is reference to the Bhagavatam in a conversation between Gautama and Maharishi Ambarisha. Prabhu, you know, I know Lord Buddha's name before, I think maybe before initiation, is Siddhartha Gautama, something like that. Is it the same person or is it a different Gautama?
Yes, Prabhu, I don't remember if he's the original one or if he was the fake one. But
okay, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu, I think he is not the real one. The real one's
Okay.
name is given in the Bhagavatam.
Excuse me, I just found something about the what is that? You know, Vopadeva.
Yes, Prabhu, what did he do?
So it is said that he is a celebrated grammarian of India. He wrote a grammar entitled Mugdha Buddha, which is held in high reputed. So he was a grammarian, Prabhu, like some pandit, something like that. Yeah. So it has so many. But they said that actually, it was him who. Some say that it was him who just wrote, compiled Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, and so it had some rumors like this. It's not true, you know, but they had some rumors like this. I just searched for it, you know, and yeah, so it's some Mayavad, you know, something like that.
Yeah, really interesting.
Hare Krishna, Shri Khan Prabhu, please accept humble obeisance.
Hare Krishna, Shikam Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances, O Krishna Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances, O Krishna Prabhupada.
We are reading Bhagavatam.
Yes, Prabhu. Very nice.
In the Padma Purana also there is okay, but then I was here. Maharishi Ambarisha. The king was advised therein to read regularly Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam if he desired liberation from material bondage. Under the circumstances, there is no doubt about the authority of the Bhagavatam. Within the past 500 years, many erudite scholars and acharyas like Jiva Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Vishvanatha Chakravarti, Vallabhacharya, and many other distinguished scholars, even after the time of Lord Chaitanya, made elaborate commentaries on the Bhagavatam. And the serious student who would do well to attempt to go through them to better relish the transcendental message. Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakura specifically deals with the original and pure sex psychology, Adi Rasa, devoid of all mundane inevitably. The whole material creation is moving under the principles of sex life. In modern civilization, sex life is the focal point for all activities. Wherever modern civilization, whenever one turns his face, he sees sex life predominant. Therefore, sex life is not unreal. Its reality is experienced in the spiritual world. The material sex life is but a perverted reflection of the original fact. The original fact is in the absolute truth, and thus the absolute truth cannot be impersonal. It is not possible to be impersonal and contain pure sex life. Consequently, the impersonalist philosophers have given indirect impetus to the abominable mundane sex. Oh, Prabhu. Mundane sex life, because they have overstressed the impersonality of the ultimate truth. Consequently, men without information of the actual spiritual form of sex has accepted perverted material sex life as the all in all. There is a distinction between sex life in the diseased material condition and spiritual sex life. This Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam will gradually elevate the unbiased reader to the highest perfectional stage of transcendence. It will enable him to transcend the three modes of material activities: fruitive actions, speculative philosophy, and worship of functional deities, and inculcated in the Vedic verse. Prabhu. Yeah, Prabhu, someone else can read.
Yes, Prabhu. Okay.
Prabhu, thank you so much, Labang Prabhu. Okay, who wants to read next?
Yes, Prabhu, I can read, I think.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. So, chapter 1, verse 2, right? So, how do we pronounce this? Prabhu, can you pronounce the verse?
What, Prabhu? Can you repeat?
Can you recite the verse?
Oh, yes, Prabhu, I can try. Dharma prochitah kaitavotra paramo nirmatsaranam satam vedyam vastvam atra vastu sivadam tapatrayon Śrīmad-Bhāgavate Mahamuni Krite Kim va Parairishvara Sadyo Hridyavarudyate Tra Kritibi Shushrūshubis Takshanat.
Okay. Synonyms. Dharma, religiosity, Rajata, completely objective. Kaitava, covered by fruitive intentions. Atra, herein. Parama, the highest. Nirmatsaranam, of the 100% pure in heart. Sat, Satam, devotee. Vedayam, understandable. Vastavam, factual. Atra, herein, wisdom, substance. Shivadam, well-being. Tapatraya, threefold mysteries. Unmoolanam, a causing uprooting of Śrīmad, beautiful. Kotei, our Purana. Mahamuni, the great sage Vyasadeva. Kotei, having compiled. Kim, what is? Va, the need. Parai, Parai, others. Ishvara, the Supreme Lord. Sadaya, at once. Sadek, at once. Hidi, within heart. Avudhyate, become compact. Atra herein could they be by the pious men, who should be by culture, that that is not without delay. Translation: completely rejecting all religious activities which are materially motivated, this Bhagavad Purana propounds the highest truth, which is understandable by those devotees who are pure in heart. Highest truth is reality. This is reality distinguished from illusion for the welfare of all. Such truth approach the threefold miseries. This beautiful Bhagavatam is compiled by the great sage Vyasadeva, is sufficient in itself for God's revelation. As soon as one attentively and submissively hears the message of wisdom, he becomes attached to the Lord, Supreme Lord. Purport: religion includes four primary subjects, namely pious activities, economic development, satisfaction of the senses, and finally, liberation from material bondage. A religious life is a barbarous condition indeed. Indeed, human life begins when religion begins. Eating, sleeping, fearing, and mating are the four principles of animal life. These are common both to animal and human beings, but the religion is the extra function of human being. Human society, there is some form of religion. Therefore, in human society, there is some form of religion which aims at self-realization and which makes reference to the man's eternal relationship with God. In the lower stages of human civilization, there is always a competition to lord it over material nature. Or in other words, there is a continuous rivalry to satisfy the senses. Driven by such consciousness, man turns to religion. He thus performs pious activities or religious function in order to gain something material. But if such material gains are obtainable in other ways, then the so-called religion is neglected. This is the situation in the modern civilization. Man is thriving economically, so at present he is not very interested in religion. Churches, mosques, and temples are not practically vacant. Men are more interested in factories, shops, cinemas than in religious spaces, which were erected by their own forefathers. This practically proves that religion is performed for some economic gains. Economic gains are needed for sense gratification. Often, when one is baffled in the pursuit of self gratification, he takes to salvation and tries to become one with the Supreme Lord. Consequently, all these states are simply different types of sense gratification. In the Vedas, the above-mentioned four activities are prescribed in a regulated way, so that there will not be an undue competition for the sense gratification. But the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is transcendental to all of these sense gratificatory activities. It is purely transcendental literature which can be understood only by the pure devotees of Lord, more transcendental to competitive sense gratification. In the material world, there is keen competition between animal and animal, man and man, community and community, nation and nation. But the devotees of Lord rise above such competitions. They do not compete with the material because they are on the path active Godhead, where life is eternal and blissful. Such transcendentalists are non-envious and pure in heart. In the material world, everyone is envious of everyone else, and therefore there is competition. But the transcendental devotees of the Lord are not only free from material envy, but they are well-wishers to everyone, and they They strive to establish competition-less society with God in the center. The contemporary socialist conception of the competition-less society is artificial, because in the socialist state, there's competition for the post of dictator. From the point of view of the Vedas, or from the point of view of the common human activities, this gratification is the basis of material life. There are three main paths mentioned in the Vedas. One involves religious activities to bring promotion to better planets. Another involves worshipping different types of demigods for promotion to the planets of demigods. And another involves realizing that he is filled in his impersonal future and becoming one with the impersonal first. The impersonal aspect, therefore, truth is not the highest. Above the impersonal feature, the Paramatma feature, and above there is the personal feature of the absolute truth above all. And Bhagavatam gives information about the absolute truth in its personal feature. It is a division of the Vedas. It is even higher than the Karmakanda division, and even higher than the Upasana division, because it recommends because it recommends uh, the worship of the Supreme Personality of God, Lord, Lord Shri Krishna. In the Karmakanda, there is competition to reach heaven and planets for better sense gratification. And there is similar competition in the Jnana Kanda and the Upasana Kanda. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is superior to all of these because it aims at the supreme truth, which is the substance or the root of all categories. In Bhagavatam, one can come to know about the substance as well as the categories. The substance is therefore through the cat and the supreme lords, and all emanation are relative forms of energy. Nothing is apart from the substance, but at the same time, the energies are different from the substance. This conception is not contradictory. Bhagavatam explicitly promulgates that simultaneously one and different philosophy of the Vedanta Sutra, which begins with the Janmadesha Sutra. This is the knowledge of the energy of the Lord being simultaneously one and different from the Lord. Is an answer to the mental speculators and attempting to establish the energy as a supreme, as absolute. Then this knowledge is actually understood. One sees the conception of monism and dualism to be imperfect. Development of this transcendental consciousness is grounded in the conception of simultaneously one and different, leads to immediately to the stages freedom from the threefold miseries. The threefold miseries are, first, those miseries which arise from the mind and body. Second, those miseries inflicted by other living beings. Third, those miseries arising from natural catastrophes over which one has no control. The Bhagavatam begins with the surrender of devotee unto the Supreme Absolute Person. Devotee is fully aware that he is one with Absolute, and at the same time, in the eternal position of the servant, in the at the same time, in the eternal position of the servant to the Absolute. In the material conception, one falsely thinks himself as the Lord of all he surveys. But as soon as he comes to know his real position as the damned servant, he at once becomes free from all miseries. As long as the living entity is trying to master material nature, there is no possibility of his becoming the servant of Supreme. Supreme, the service is the Lord is rendered in pure consciousness and of one's spiritual activity. By, by service, one is immediately free from material encumbrances. Over and above this, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is a personal commentation on the Vedanta Sutra by Srila Vasudeva. It is written in the maturity of his spiritual life, in the mercy of Narada. Srila Vasudeva is the authorized incarnation of Narayana, the personality of God, and therefore there is no question of his authority. He is the author of all Vedic literatures, and yet he recommends the study of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam above all others. In other Puranas, there are different methods set forth by which one can worship demigods. But in Bhagavatam, the Supreme Lord, only Supreme Lords are different. Only the Supreme Lord is mentioned, and the Supreme Lord is a whole body, and demigods are the different parts of that body. Consequently, by worshiping the Supreme Lord, one does not need to worship demigods. The Supreme Lord becomes fixed in his heart, and in the heart of the devotee immediately, and then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has recommended Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam as the spotless Purana and distinguished it from all the other Puranas. The proper method for receiving this transcendental message is to hear it submissively. A challenging attitude cannot help one realize this transcendental message. One particular word is used herein for proper guidance. This word is susrusu. One must be anxious to hear this transcendental message. A desire to sincerely hear this as the first qualification. Less fortunate persons are not at all interested in hearing this in Bhagavatam. The process is simple, but the application is difficult. Unfortunately, people find enough time to hear idle social, political conversation, but when invited to attend a meeting of devotees to hear Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, they suddenly become reluctant. Sometimes professional readers of the Bhagavatam immediately plunge into the confidential topics of the pastimes of the Lord in which they seemingly interpret it as literature. The Bhagavatam is meant to be heard from the beginning. Those who are fit to assimilate this work are mentioned in the shloka. One becomes qualified to hear Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam after many pious deeds. The intelligent person, by thoughtful discretion, can be assured by the great sage Vasudeva that he can realize the Supreme Personality of God directly by hearing Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Without undergoing different stages of realization set forth in the Vedas, one can be lifted immediately to the position of the Paramhansa stage simply by agreeing to receive this message.
Haribol. Thank you so much, Pranjal Prabhu.
So,
So we don't need any other religious books. We can read this Bhagavatam, and that's enough. Haribol.
yes, Prabhu. Yes, that's enough.
Okay, now we read six Astakam prayers. Cheto darpanamarjanam bhavamaha davagninirvapanam Shreyah Kairavachantrika Vitaranam Vidyavadu Jivanam Anandam Bhutivardhanam Pratipadam Purnamritasvadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam.
Nam Nam Kari Bahuda Nija Salva Shaktis Tatra Pita Niyamita Smarane Nakaraham Itadrishi Tava Kripa Bhagavan Mamapi Udaiva Midrishamiha Janinanuragam
Trinadapi Sunechena Tarorapi Sahishnuna Manina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari.
Nadanam najanam na sundarim kavitam va jagadisha kamaye mama janmani janmanishvari bhavata bhakti raituki tvai. Ainanda tanuja kin kalam patitam mam bishame bhavam bhuto klipaya tava padapan kajastita duri sadrisham vichintayam. Ayanam galadashuda yala vadanam gadgadaruddaya gilam pulakai nichitam vapukada tavanamagahane vavishyati. Gaitam nimeshena chakshusha pravishaitam shunyaitam jagat sarvam govinda vilahe name ashlishyava padaratam pinashtumam aldashanam almahatam kalotuva yata tathava vidatatulam pato matprananatastu saivana param.
Haribol. Glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious.
O my Lord, your holy name alone can run the whole benediction to the living beings. And thus you have hundreds, millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In this transcendental name, you have invested all your transcendental energies. They are not even a hard and fast rule for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by chanting your holy names. But I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them.
One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree devoid of all sense of false prestige and ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly.
O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire a beautiful woman, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service birth after birth. O son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of your atoms, of the atoms of your lotus feet.
O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name?
Oh Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to be alive 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence.
I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly by his embrace or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord unconditionally. Sri Siksastakam ki jai.
Jai.
Bahu janma kare yadi shravana kirtan, tabutana paya Krishna pade premadan. If one is infested with the 10 offenses in the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, despite his endeavor to chant the holy name for many births, he will not get the love of Godhead that is the ultimate goal of this chanting. The offenses against the holy name are as follows. First offense, to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord.
Second offense, to consider the names of demigod Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma to be equal to and independent of the name of Lord Vishnu.
Third offense, to disobey the orders of the spiritual master or consider him as an ordinary person.
Fourth offense, to blaspheme the Vedic literature or literature impressions of the Vedic version.
Fifth offense, to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination.
Sixth offense, to give some interpretation of the holy name of the Lord.
7 offense to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name of the Lord.
8 offense to consider chanting of Lord Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in the Vedas as fructive activities. Kama calendar.
9th offense.
Ninth offense.
Ribol.
Okay.
Ninth offense to instruct the faithless persons about the glories of the holy name.
To not have complete faith in chanting of the holy names and to meditate led assurance even after understanding common instructions on this matter. There is also an offense ignorant to chanting. Ribol.
Ribol. Every devotee
Ribol.
to be a Vaishnava must guard against his offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success, Krishna Prema. Let us offer our humble obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. They can fulfill the desires of everyone, just like these are trees, and they are full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. Vancha kalpatarupyascha kripa
Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha.
Bhavane. And the Gaudiya Vaishnava ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai
Jai.
Gaur, and
Jai.
Haribo.
Haribo.
Haribo. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for joining the